Truth Unveiled here, and today I have a lot to go over with you. Let's just get right to it. I'm keeping you updated with the world around you, and today we're going to be talking about what they have in store and what they have planned for 2024 and beyond. And we're here at this website here from Sociable that says UN Gates Foundation 50 in 5 campaign aims to roll out digital public infrastructure in 50 countries by 2028. And later on, I'm going to take you to that actual program and website. Now, this was all announced in November, by the way. They did a virtual launch and everything. I'm going to tell you the bigger agenda so that you can be awake, alert, and aware of what's going on around you so that you are aware of these things ahead of time. Now, just to give a little bit of background, like I said, we will go to the actual DPI website later on in the video, but for now it says the United Nations, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and partners of who? The Rockefeller Foundation. Wow, where have I heard that before? They're launching their 50 in 5 campaign to accelerate digital ID, digital payments, and data sharing rollouts in 50 countries under the umbrella of Digital Public Infrastructure, DPI, by 2028. Now, they're going to tell you that their goal is to roll all of this out by 2028. However, this is more than likely going to be much sooner. And folks, again, when they tell you this stuff, they're just trying to do what? They're trying to pacify the public as much as possible to make them think, oh, we have time for this. Oh, we don't have to think about this right now. Oh, we don't have to worry about this right now. But the reality is, folks, they already have the technology ready to go. And it says digital public infrastructure, DPI, which refers to a secure and interoperable network of components that include digital payments, ID, and data exchange systems, is essential for participation in markets and society in a digital era. Now, some of you might be looking at this and you might be thinking to yourselves, oh, but this is a great thing. It means enhanced security. It means that with digital IDs, it's easier for people to be identified and verified. And oh, this is a great thing because it keeps society together and united as one. Oh, but is it really? Because what is the bigger agenda here? We are going to find out. So the virtual launch event already took place as of November 8th, so almost a couple of weeks ago. But the bill itself, it says, quote, a country-led advocacy campaign. By 2028, the 50 in 5 campaign will have helped 50 countries design, launch, and scale components of their digital public infrastructure, according to the official announcement. And again, it's going to be powered by 3 foundational components: digital ID, digital payments like who? The central banks, so the central bank digital currencies, and massive data sharing. Now, just reading that alone, what is wrong with this? More spying indeed. They're going to spy on people even more with this, and it gets even worse than that because it's what? Digital policing, online policing, more policing for the public. That's what this is. And again, folks, they could roll this technology out as early as so-called 2024. They already have it in certain places such as China, as you're about to see later on in the video to come. The problem with this is that if this program is successful, DPI will give governments and corporations the power to implement systems of social credit that can what? Determine where and how you can travel, what you are allowed to consume, and how you will be able to transact with your programmable money. So again, if you're saying something that they don't agree with, they can just shut your card down, they can just shut your digital ID down, they can just shut everything down so that you're not able to buy and sell anymore, so that you're not able to go to the store, so that you're not able to get food, so that you're not able to go anywhere or travel or even step inside your vehicle or car. That is the goal of this. Again, it's more policing, and they tell you, what does it do? Demonstrates the potential and momentum for DPI through showing various approaches to it, their progress and outcomes in countries across different income levels and digital maturity statuses, and shortening the DPI learning and adoption journey for countries through facilitating learnings and best practice exchanges, use of open standards and specifications, adoption and sharing of technologies as digital public goods, and evolution of local engineering capacity and vendor ecosystems. And of course, they're going to say, oh, but this is good for the environment, and oh, it cuts out a cashless society, which in fact it does. But what is the bigger agenda here? Because there's so much to go over, I don't have time to go over every single document and every single article, but I wanted to go over this right here from the People's Voice that says, Nikki Haley says internet users must be verified by Bill Gates' digital ID for, quote, national security. And folks, this is exactly what we talked about how long ago on this network about what? In the name of national security, in the name of national security, in the name for your protection, this is what we have to do. Now I'm going to show you a clip, a recent clip of what Nikki Haley said about this and what the bigger meaning of this really is.
When I get into office, the first thing we have to do, social media accounts, social media companies, they have to show America their algorithms. Let us see why they're pushing what they're pushing. The second thing is every person on social media should be verified by their name. That's, first of all, it's a national security threat. When you do that, all of a sudden people have to stand by what they say, and it gets rid of the Russian bots, the Iranian bots, and the Chinese bots. And then you're going to get some civility when people know their name is next to what they say. Accountability. And they know their pastor and their family member is going to see it. It's going to help our kids, and it's going to help our country.
Okay, so what's the problem with this? The problem with this is what? More censorship, and they're trying to get rid of truth. And again, they're trying to get rid of the freedoms that you already do not have, the little to no freedoms that you already do not have. Because think about it like this, folks, when they come out with this stuff and when they initiate this, either through another you know what or whatever the case is, or whatever what's going on over there in that area that I'm not even going to mention right now, but you know what I'm talking about. When they bring that here to America and when they declare another false, you know what it is, then guess what? What does that mean for people like me and you? Truth will no longer be accessible. They're going to start not only policing truth, but even fining you for it. And soon enough, you're not even going to be able to go anywhere. They'll be able to track your every movement with these digital IDs. They'll be able to pinpoint exactly your location. They can already do that with Google Maps, folks. They can already do that. Your TV is already spying on you. Your dishwasher might even be spying on you. These things are already taking place behind closed doors. And the question is, are you awake, alert, and aware to it? Now, this article piggybacks off of what we just read in the previous one about the UN Development Program, or UNDP, another alphabet soup, launching their campaign to accelerate digital ID, digital payments, and data sharing rollouts in 50 countries under the umbrella of DPI, or Digital Public Infrastructure, by 2028. Now, data sharing is also a big problem. Why is that the case? Because you don't know who you're sharing your information with. You don't know what companies you're sharing your information with. So when they sell your data and share your data with each other, they could be trying to commit fraud on you. They could drain out your bank account. They could drain out your funds. That's why I've been saying a long time ago, when it came to bail-ins back in 2016, the importance of what? Getting the money out of the banks. Because again, when the real shutdown occurs, and when stuff really starts to hit the fan, that's exactly what they're going to be doing, is they're going to be draining people's accounts. Or if you do not comply with the government because you could be a threat to national security, then guess what? They're going to drain your account. They're going to tell you that you can no longer go to the store, you can no longer do anything, and more than likely, they're going to soon enough, what? Imprison people as well. People who are not compliant to the system, to the beast system, to the beast technology, and to everything that is going on. This is something that's already happening in China. They've already tested this. They already have the infrastructure. And again, China has what, 3, if not 4 times the population of America. So the fact that they're able to police people already and keep them clustered together in a nation such as China, what do you think that means for the rest of the world? Because this says from Wired, the complicated truth about China's social credit system. China's social credit system is not a world first, but when it's complete, it will be unique. The system isn't just as simple as everyone being given a score, though. So again, we might have talked about this in previous videos when we talked about just these things about them implementing digital IDs and also cashless societies and also the censorship and everything. But again, this is something that has been going on for years now, and this is not something that has just started recently. So this, when it comes to a social credit score in China, this came back about in 2007, and then they opted into the system in 2014. Now, it goes on to talk about this where it says China's social credit system expands that idea to all aspects of life, judging citizens' behavior and trustworthiness. Caught jaywalking, don't pay a court bill, play your music too loud on the train, you could lose certain rights such as booking a flight or a train ticket. But let me take it a step further. You talk about anything related to the truth, you might not be able to get on the train anymore. You might not be able to use your car anymore. You might not be able to go anywhere anymore. If you're even just watching this video, they already have the fusion centers ready to go. They already have your name on some list somewhere because you could be a domestic threat and they have to fight off this threat. Problem, reaction, solution. So again, how are they going to do that? They're going to institute this type of social credit system, and they're more than likely going to enact it through these digital IDs and with the use of AI, artificial intelligence, that type of technology as well. Already the system is in place, folks. Again, they're trying to figure out who's going to be compliant to the beast system and the beast technology and who is not. And if you are a problem to them, well, then you can bet your bottom dollar that what? They're going to do everything they can to not only silence you, but basically make it so that you cannot even live a normal life like everyone else. Again, who's going to comply to Big Brother? Is that you? But I found that interesting when the article goes on to say, how does the social credit system work? It says it's less a score and more of a record. Some reports talk about a blacklist. That's part of the official government social credit system, which means if you owe the government money, for example, you could lose certain rights. So if you're not paying them tickets, well, guess what? You can lose certain rights and you can lose certain privileges. Or not only that, they can even take it a step further and just make up tickets. They can just make up things on the spot that, oh, you didn't pay for this, oh, you didn't pay for that, and you know deep down they just made it up out of thin air. But what can you do? You will either have to comply or don't comply and potentially be in prison. There's a difference between getting a low social credit score and being blacklisted by the government, such as for refusing to pay a fine. It can range from not paying fines when you're fully deemed able to, or misbehaving on a train, standing up in a taxi, or driving through a red light. And again, they'll be able to track and record your every movement wherever you go and whatever you do because they already have the technology ready to go. As we talked about in previous videos, your street lights are spying on you. Yes, they have technology implemented within the street lights on practically every corner in America that are spying on you wherever you go. Your cell phone is spying on you. You cannot get away from it. Like that Michael Jackson song, I always feel like somebody's watching me. Very interesting and suspicious indeed, putting the truth right in front of you. So what happens if you are blacklisted in China? Well, if this is the case, you're not qualified to buy a plane ticket, you're banned from traveling on some of the train lines, you cannot buy any property, and you definitely cannot take out a loan. And they're not even going to notify you or nothing. They're not going to give you a warrant. They might not even put it on your personal file. It's just going to be in the system that you are blacklisted. And soon enough, this type of technology is coming to America, coming to a police state near you. Now, we're here at that actual website, 50 and 5, the UN's program. I wanted to actually come here so that you can actually take a look at it. I'm not going to go too much into it, but I will leave the link in the description box below so you can take a look at the website and so you can see the bigger agenda that's right in front of you with both your eyes open. Because then it says implementing digital public infrastructure safely and inclusively. It's a country-led advocacy program or campaign that by 2028, the 50 and 5 campaign will have helped 50 countries design, launch, and scale components of their digital public infrastructure. It says on November 8th, it was formally launched with countries coming together. Again, notice this coming together, the idea of them coming together. What does that tell you? New world order, one world government, to commit to sharing learnings, best practices, and technologies that can ultimately reduce costs, build local capacity, maximize impact, and help radically shorten the implementation journeys for digital public infrastructure. Yeah, all that sounds nice on paper, but what are they really doing? And of course, they're going to say, oh, yes, this is needed. Oh, yes, this is very much needed for every single country, for all peoples. This is very much a very important thing that everyone needs and that everyone must implement. But is it really, though? So, of course, they're going to decorate it and try to make it sound like it's great and that it's helping society and it's keeping you safe. But is that really what it's doing? Because as we keep going, I just found it interesting that these are some of the collaborations that it's with. Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, weren't they the same ones behind the you-know-what? Very interesting and suspicious indeed. Can we trust the thing that they tell us? Can we trust a word that any of them tell us? I don't think so. Center for Digital Public Infrastructure, co-developed Digital Public Goods Alliance, United Nations Development Program, or the UNDF, and is supported by GovStack, the Inter-American Development Bank, and UNICEF. More alphabet soups. Soon enough, this is going to be mandatory. Everyone's going to need to participate in this. Everybody's going to need to take part in this. Everybody's going to have to give into this at one point. Why do you think that is? What could possibly be the bigger push here? Well, let's find out, because now we're here at the WHO, another alphabet soup, the World Health Organization. We're now at their website. Why are we here? Because this is one of their health topics, which I find very interesting and suspicious indeed. It's infodemic right here. And what is an infodemic? It's too much information, including false or misleading information in digital and physical environments during what they call a D-word outbreak. It causes confusion and risk-taking behaviors that can harm health. It also leads to mistrust in health authorities and undermines the public health response. So again, folks, they are cracking down when it comes to this health technology and when it comes to what it is that they're really doing and how they don't want people like myself and just people getting the real truth out about these things and the dangers of the health of the things that they are promoting, like we talked about on the original channel when it came to the you-know-what. They don't want that going on. So now they even have this whole database and article devoted and dedicated to what? More censorship, because you could be a threat if you tell someone that, oh, getting the you-know-what, oh, that's not good for your health. It has all these adverse health effects. It's actually potentially changing your and altering your DNA, and you should not do it. And here are the reasons why. Here are the ingredients so that you can stay informed and educated. They don't want that. So now what they're saying is that such a thing can intensify or lengthen outbreaks when people are unsure about what they need to do to protect their health and the health of people around them. With growing digitalization and expansion of social media and internet use, information can spread more rapidly. This can help to more quickly fill information voids, but can also amplify harmful messages. Because if you tell somebody, no, I don't think you should get the you-know-what, that's considered harmful in their eyes. If you tell someone, oh, well, did you read the ingredients of what you're getting? Well, that could be considered harmful in their eyes. That could be a big threat to them. Why? Because then they cannot keep you sick. That's why. And so that's why they have to do this. Again, problem, reaction, solution. Infodemic management is the systematic use of risk and evidence-based analysis and approaches to manage it and reduce its impact on health behaviors during health emergencies. So folks, are you reading between the lines? Basically, what they're telling you is that what? They're planning another one real soon. Soon enough, it's going to be another lockdown, another shutdown. And this time, because they already planned it the first time and they already tested it out, everything the first time, this time when they do it again, videos like this will no longer be accessible. Just like what we talked about on the very first video that was uploaded on the original channel on this network about what? The one world internet, the one world system, the one world internet that will take place, where in that world, you cannot post anything about the truth at all, or else they're coming to chop your head off. And I'm sorry to put it that bluntly, but that's just the reality, folks. I'm not trying to scare anyone. I'm just trying to get you ready and prepared and conditioned for these things when they take place before they condition you with their lies like they have been doing for how many centuries now, how many years now, how many decades now. So again, folks, it's important that you see how all of this ties together. And how are they testing all of this out? Well, just look at the Middle East and you'll see what I'm talking about. Because if you don't think that that's coming to a police state near you, it's time to think again. If you don't think that the situation in Venezuela, what's going on over there, if you don't think that's coming here to America and to Europe and the rest of the Western world, it's time to seriously reevaluate and think again. Because it is. It's only a matter of time. Now, on this network a long time ago, remember we would post and do videos about what? Massive power outages. And there was another one that occurred recently where? In Australia. Wow, what perfect timing. Just a few days after that event that took place, the 50 and 5 with the UN, and also just a few days after Nikki Haley announced about what? digital security and digital IDs for everyone on social media. Wow, what perfect timing. What impeccable timing, because this report from Reuters says Singtel-owned Optus says massive Australia outage was after a software upgrade. Is that the case, or was it a test to prepare for something bigger? So this past Monday, there was a massive outage that effectively cut off 40% of the country's population and triggered a political firestorm that was caused by, quote, changes to routing information after a, quote, routine software upgrade. Of course, they're going to blame it on a routine software upgrade, but what they're not going to tell you is that they're testing everything out to see how people are going to react. How are you going to react when there's no power for a couple of hours, maybe even a couple of days? How are you going to react when you cannot get water from the stores or food from the stores? How are you going to react when all of these things and privileges are taken away from you? How are you going to react? How is society going to react? Are they going to start rioting? Are they going to start doing all of these crazy things and heinous things to one another? Is it going to start looking like the TV shows in a zombie apocalypse, just like your government already told you and told you that they're preparing for? Very interesting and suspicious indeed, because this told you that more than 10 million Australians were hit by the 12-hour network blackout at the Singapore telecommunications owned telco on November 8th. Wow, the exact same day that they implemented that 50 and 5 program. Wow, that is definitely not a surprise or a coincidence. And what did this trigger? Fury and frustration among customers and raising wider concerns about the telecommunications infrastructure. Again, what are they trying to do? Problem, reaction, solution. They caused the problem by turning off the lights in the first place. Now they're trying to get what? A reaction from everyone else and offer their own solution. Oh, what we need to do is we need to tighten up the security. Oh, what we need to do is we need a tighter infrastructure. Oh, we know how to do that, so this threat does not happen again. Get everybody on digital IDs. Get everybody complacent and compliant with the government and what they're telling them. Get everyone on board with these things, so that when the outage occurs, everyone already knows what they're going to do. The government already knows who's going to trust them, who's not, who's going to be compliant and who's not. They already know that what people are just going to run over to Walmart, take the chip or whatever digital ID or whatever B system infrastructure they're going to have already in place so that they can be what? Obedient little slaves. That's all this is, because they're already telling you in these different articles, can strong solar storms take down the internet? Scientists says it's possible. The likelihood of super solar storms has risen as the sun approaches its most active phase. And of course, they're going to blame it on space, even though we know the truth about space. And you can look at this channel or the backup channel that we're going to go over in a moment to come to learn more about the real truth about space if you already don't know. Why am I telling you this? Because once again, this is an agenda for them to what? Turn off the lights, to turn off electricity, to implement these technologies. And folks, honestly, it could begin as soon as so-called 2024. They don't have to wait till 2028. Why? Because they already have the technology ready to go. They're just waiting on another false you-know-what. Because a so-called internet apocalypse could be on the horizon as a result of an impending solar superstorm, a scientist warned. Yeah, that's what they're going to tell you. But see, what they're not going to tell you is that it's an inside job, just like all these other ones, just like all these other events, just like what we've talked about on this network that I cannot really go into detail right now. It's going to be the same thing. It's going to be implemented and initiated, and your government's going to be the catalyst. Why? Because it's more control. It gives more control to them, and people are going to yield to their control in the case of a crisis. That's why FEMA and all these other alphabet soups, that's why they have all these crisis preparedness and crisis readiness. That's why they've been doing these things for how many years and decades, because they're conditioning the public to get ready for them to basically bow down and submit to them during that time. But the question is, will you? Now, in case you're new to this network, we uploaded a new Rumble account for the channel, Truth Unveiled 777. So I will leave the link in the description box below in case you don't already know. But it's very important that I tell you about this. So in case you're looking for some of the older videos, you can find them on this network if you just go to videos. Again, the link will be in the description box. So far, we have, I'd say, a little over 50 of the old content uploaded. And we will look into uploading new content on here as well. But folks, it's important that you continue seeking out Uwa and his true son Yahusha for even more truth. This is Truth Unveiled here saying, as always, Shalom.